Is the bank really ready, a bank like yours, is it really ready to handle the logistics of what it entails on such a large scale?
Uh, so we were told about it at the same time that the announcement was made yesterday evening, but our teams have been working through the night to manage the logistics of trying to get the old notes out of the ATMs and the branches and make sure that we have 100 rupee notes in place for day after, when customers can walk into the branches and go to the ATMs to withdraw cash. So yes, it's a massive logistics task, but given that this is an important national initiative aimed at both curbing black money and curtailing financing of terrorism, we believe that we have to put our best foot forward to make things work here, and we are doing our very best.
But as far as supplying customers with currency notes that are acceptable in the new scenario is concerned, would you be in a position to supply them with 100 rupee notes, or are you aiming to supply them with the new 500 rupee notes in the new series? What is it going to be? What can customers hope to get when they go to an Axis Bank ATM tomorrow?
Day after is when they can go to the Axis Bank ATMs and aim to get 100 rupee notes. And we will hope to get some 2000 rupee notes into the branches, but not into the ATMs, because we have to reconfigure the software at the ATM to be able to handle 2000 rupee notes. So at the ATMs, they can get 100 rupee notes, and at the branches from day after, they could get both 2000 rupee notes and 100 rupee notes. But just to ease the situation, I think what RBI has regulated is that you can withdraw 4,000 rupees a day. And as more of the 2000 rupee notes come into circulation, and then subsequently the new 500 rupee note comes into circulation, I think things should get back to normal. But yes, for a couple of days there is going to be some balancing act that needs to be done.
So are your currency chests sufficiently equipped? Will you be able to supply your branches, or would you be looking to the local RBI office to supply your branches?
No, so obviously we have to get the currency. The new 2000 rupee notes will come from RBI, and we will have to reach out to RBI if we need more 100 rupee notes as well. So what RBI has said is that we should do an estimation of how much we need and liaise with the RBI offices. So this is a coordinated task between RBI and the banks to try and make sure that we make the next couple of days as little disruption as possible.
As far as your ATM network is concerned, what is the kind of spread that you have? What is the kind of concentration that you have? Is it obviously presumably more in the metropolitan and urban centers? So are you anticipating a rush only at these centers, or do you see a rush in your ATMs all across the country?
So I think the first thing that we can do, and you as somebody who reaches out to lots of customers can help us do, is to bring a degree of calm to customers. So if I look at people who walked up to me in daily life and said, now what happens? The first worry is, does that mean my money is lost? And so there are some people who think that their money is lost and they don't know what to do with their 500 and 1000. So the first thing we need to tell them is that, your money is not lost. So if you had withdrawn 500 rupee or 1000 rupee notes and you're sitting right now with 500 and 1000 rupee notes, you have all the way till December 30 to convert them into the new currency, either into 100 rupee notes or into the new 2000 and the new 500 rupee notes. So there is no cause for panic. If your money is legitimate, you can go and convert it any time to December 30. So that's the first degree of calmness I think we need to send out to customers, so that we don't add to the panic situation. And then of course there's the issue of immediate cash handling. So immediately, if people need to spend and they had withdrawn cash to spend over the next couple of days, then as banks we need to work with RBI to see how do we make sure that customers are not starved of daily cash needs. And the good news is that a lot of POS acceptance is available. So at lots of places you can actually pay with a card. So wherever you have the option to pay with a card, please pay with a card and use cash only when you need to use cash. And to that extent, I think it's a good way to change consumer habit for the future. But nevertheless, what we as banks are trying to do is to work to see how do we reduce the disruption that's caused in this short period. And let's recognize the disruption is only for a couple of days. It's not a panic situation. And
it is a bit of a logistic nightmare.
Really request
it is a bit
your
of a
help.
logistic nightmare. So do you expect to? Yeah, but so would you be keeping your branches open for longer hours, for instance? Because that would be a big help. Have you received any instructions from the government or from the RBI that bank branches should be kept open for much longer?
No, we haven't received any instructions to keep branches open longer. But I think, right now, over the next 48 hours, what banks need to do is just make sure we get the old notes back and we stock ourselves up with the new 100 rupee notes and the new 2000 rupee notes. So that's what's going to be done in the next 48 hours. And then depending upon the customer flow situation, we would definitely be responsive. And if we need to keep branches open for longer, we will do that. We have done that in the past in various situations. When the floods happened in Chennai, we're very proud of the fact that a lot of Axis Bank staffers went out with mobile vans to make sure that cash was delivered to individuals where they needed it. So as banks, we recognize that this is the time that customers will depend on us, and we will do whatever we feel is required at that point of time and respond to customer needs.
Given the fact that ATMs, you need to keep restocking them, what arrangements have you and Axis made to kind of constantly ensure that the ATMs don't run out of cash of the required denominations?
Fundamentally, we have one of the largest number of currency chests, and we would of course liaise with RBI to make sure that those currency chests have adequate currency in 100 rupee notes and 2000 rupee notes. And that's what we can do. As I said, what you can help us to is to convey the message to customers that at this point of time, please stay with the minimum cash that you require to help us tide through the logistics situation of the next few days. So for the next week, I think if people just decide that they will keep as little cash as necessary and leave the rest in the bank, they can of course come back and take that cash out a week later, because the ability to change the old notes into the new notes is there all the way to December 30, as I said.
Oh, absolutely. There really is no case of panic. But given the fact that people generally tend to kind of react in an extreme fashion, a bank like yours perhaps is a slightly better place than many of the nationalized banks, whose clientele belongs typically to a slightly different income category, more closer to the lower income category, which tends to deal in cash more, tends to panic more. So do you anticipate that your problems will be much less than that of, say, a nationalized bank, for instance?
No, I think we have a large number of customers. We have 17 million customers. A lot of them are in rural areas, in small towns. And, contrary to the impression that you might have, we are not really a metrocentric bank anymore. 25% of our branches are in rural areas, 25% are in semi-urban areas, and another 25% in urban, and only 25% of our branches are in the metro and large towns. So we have equally, maybe not the same as SBI, which has the largest network, but we do have a logistic challenge. But we will do everything we can do to make sure that we minimize the impact of the disruption. And I would urge you once again, because media can have a big influence with customers, to just send that message to customers. Let them feel comfortable that this is not a panic situation. They need not panic. And just this morning as I was driving into office, I was having this conversation. I proactively told my driver, I hope you heard about this. I hope you're not panicking. And he said, yes, thank you for telling me that, because all my friends are telling me that ab to paisa gaya. 500 rupees or 1000 rupees ka kuch value nahi rahega. And I told him that no, don't worry, as long as your money is legitimate money, come and change it at the bank. Come and change it at the bank after 2 days, and you have all the way till December 30. And I could just see his temperature come down and calmness come down. So I think it'll be a real big help if you can send that message down to customers. Because we have to remember what is happening is for the good of the country. And the other interesting reaction to me from a driver was, he said, yeah, I know we have to take pain, but I also know that this is good for the country, and so we're supportive of this, even though I have to take pain. And you know, he has a family situation, his grandmother's died and needs the money for the cremation. So it was really heartwarming for me to see that the common man understands that message if you land it objectively, and you land it comprehensively.
Oh, absolutely. We are there certainly all the way with you to spread the message across. But are you in Access thinking of some kind of a media campaign to tell your customers? Are you sending them emails, SMSs? Are you doing anything to reassure them? Are you reaching across to them?
Yes, absolutely. We would be doing that. We would be doing that through our branches as well. So we're getting our branches to call out customers and to try and engage with as many customers as possible. We've equipped our call centers to take calls, so that we can explain to customers what this is all about. And the very same thing that I'm saying to you, that there's no need to panic.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.